He just texted me, said we've had 10 centimeters more.
Get out of here.
Send us
Get home.
Okay, have a safe drive, Mark.
Oh, no, I'd say listen.
Any word at all about
You do have a
Yes, there is, okay. On the storm, should have mentioned that at the beginning of the meeting. We were thinking of not having our invitational because most of us want to attend the Joe main event. The date has not yet been set. They're working on it. So I got that on Monday. So they will let us know, because I've said we're on hold and it's not fair to us.
Text me.
So we will broadcast it as soon as that date is.
Where was it? Dallas, Texas?
No, it's San Diego. It's where BRO has always been, I guess, centered.
To go to that event, do you have to be a member of BRO?
That is unknown yet, it's unlikely. But I don't know yet the details. In the past,
If you have to be a member of BRO.
in the past, everybody pays the same thing to go to it. And when you get there, they'll upsell you to the coaching program. That's how it works.
But just, we pointed out, Suzanne, we just had a call with Mario, so we hadn't, because I hadn't used some of the programs in a long time, and I just emailed him and said, could we get an hour call with you? So Thomas, myself, and Amy, the girl that works with us, we sat with him for an hour on the phone and just said, he said, what 3 things do you want to know about, most? And so we just gave him our top 3, and he went over, it was great. Didn't cost me anything more. And then he just said, anytime you need help.
But you're a member of the coaching?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm just a member.
Am I the only one that's the coaching, that gets coaching?
No, I get
You
coaching.
get coaching? Anyone else?
No.
So everybody else is just on the star,
The
basic
$99,
$99.
yeah, a month, I mean, yeah.
No.
But that's because you've been there so long.
Yeah.
I guess that
He
you're
was,
correct.
but it was great because we could
Yeah.
do an update and it was, it
But
had
he
specific.
wants he wants new members from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Michelle's my coach.
I just had an hour with Joe and Michelle
Yeah,
doing the breakthrough conversation.
okay,
January 3rd, I spent an hour with them on the phone.
yeah, it was great.
Wonderful.
Go Canva.
Just wonderful.
I know, right?
Go Canva.
Woo!
I love Canva. Love Canva.
It's interesting because on the way here, Lee and I were talking a little bit about what do you have your assistant do? And it's funny because I don't even think about it on a minute-to-minute basis of what she's doing. I haven't even been in the back end of Canva. It's probably 6 months now.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going in here now and I'm seeing what designs and what stuff. We used to use Publisher. So we'll go on, when I say we, that's Jen,
We know that.
right? So just you know that.
We know that.
We actually collaborate quite often on this. And one of the biggest things that we were coming up with was trying to do when I go into a listing, consultation, presentation, I walk in with a file, a couple of pieces of papers, so I can remember what their names are, because I'm old, and their address and stuff like that on it, just a simple file folder and this. And then when I open it up to them, I'm showing them what I brought them, and then all of this side, and I always start with this, and this is the one that we were talking about earlier, that Bonnie had shown us. The Geo Warehouse, the one that you can customize, so you can put their name on it. And it's a much longer one than the 4-page that we were used to doing. So I start with that, and then all this side is everything that I prepared to come up with the evaluation for their house. So I'm leaving, they get this, every single person, yes.
Are you doing listing presentation or are you doing what your assistant does?
I'm doing a listing presentation, because what we're talking about here, the topic was the why are you worth it, what I want for you. Remember we started that conversation, a couple of months ago now. Well, that led me to redo my listing presentation because it was all about, here's how good I am. Let me just tell you about what you're going to get instead of Joe's thing of what do I want for you. So I tried to change it around now. So yes, I always tell them when I open this up, we're going to get to all of this information about what's going on in your market area. But first, I just want to talk a little bit about what I want for you. And so I always give them a map. And the reason I always give them the map, this is for the people who haven't heard me talk before, is it's got the districts. I'm all about the districts. You guys probably have these at your real estate boards
We don't
too.
do them anymore.
It's, you don't have them anymore?
No, we stopped. printing.
Wow. It's like a buck, and every single person gets one of these. It helps them learn the districts, they keep it in their glove boxes.
Who does it say you are here?
Yeah, it's funny, yeah, they start doing stuff like that. They all get the little thing, you know, with my cell number on it. And then I pulled this out. And so we're gonna get to that one page. When I pulled this out, this is as of yesterday, what we've come up with for my stuff that I'm leaving them, that I'm talking about. So we really kind of changed up the information. This is, again, like the map, showing them the different districts so I can pinpoint and show them that I'm an expert in theirs. We talk about the stats, and I tell them where to go for the stats on that custom page on my website. So we get into talking about what's going on. So these are just like pages for me that you could do on an iPad. I've done it on my computer or my iPad as well. But this is stuff I'm leaving with them so that they'll go check out these things. Because they need to know that we're the expert in their neighborhoods for their statistics. And then I'm always showing them what the prices have changed, because I always do these maps every month, every year. So it's got the actual average prices for their area year over year. So we're talking about that. The by referral only, we literally just changed, so I'm going to show you this. I used to put in the one pager that Joe gave us, not anymore. And then we just came up with this one for the STAR group. So now we're going to show we had the one that Cindy did many, many years ago with a little map of Ontario. So now it's about this and sending them to the STAR group. So I spend quite a bit of time talking about the by referral only concept, why I belong to this and have for many, many years, and about our fantastic group that we have been, it's 20 years. We still talk about the little, you know, where people come from. These other little
I
ones.
don't-
Where buyers, you mean where buyers come from?
I'm amazed on how much that pie chart has changed over the past 7 years.
Yeah,
It's insane.
and I would love to get an updated one if anybody's got the most updated.
I have it.
10 simple steps, decluttering and preparing. Jen came up with these ones and really kind of gave them all the local numbers of where they could dump, where they could donate, where they could throw away, all of that kind of stuff. So it's very localized information. Preparing your home for showing, so we talk about staging. Potential closing costs. So I used to have like an actual thing in here saying, here's your mortgage, here's your real estate fees, here's your, and really lay them out. Now we just talk about the different potential costs that they could come up with. So these are the ones that I really wanted to talk about today. And what that topic, we don't have much time left, but basically I bring this up and I kind of show them how real estate fees work. Because most of them just believe that we're getting the 5%, 6%, whatever it is that we're charging them. So I used to draw a little picture. And again, Jen went, you know, that's a cute little picture, but no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. But then it's about, well, what do they get? So I tell them that it's generally between 4 and 6, and I draw in here 2 to 3 on one side, 2 to 3 on the other side, explain where that goes down. And then this bottom part is about my commission. So what comes out of my commission? Because they need to know a little bit more about that. So the things we came up with: full-time administrative assistant, real estate license, OREA dues, CREA dues, errors and omissions insurance, mandated education, the Real Estate Board of Hamilton, office expenses, supplies, marketing, professional development, the automobile and the insurance, income tax, and then if there's anything left, food, clothes, house, health, dental, entertainment, etc. That's what comes out of my piece after this all filters down. So now they have a perspective of, oh,
You forgot a big piece.
I-
Taxes.
income tax. Yeah, it is. I said it real fast. So that's kind of how and I'd love feedback on this too, am leading up to what do you want to pick? Because they're always having the discussions about, hey, you know, this guy will do it for 2.5%, including everything. Purple Bricks is going to do it for nothing. So I also point out on there, depending on the real estate company, they'll pick something, you'll still have this side to pay though. Because most agents are gonna come in, if you're Comfrey, Purple Bricks, the new name, they're gonna come in and say, hey, you have to pay us 2.5. So you still have that side. And then the other side, you're paying a fee for that. It's an upfront fee. You're not paying me an upfront fee.
I do the same chart, only when it drops down to the 2.5, I
Yeah.
split it 3 ways. I don't split it 2 ways. And whether you pay a little bit to your broker or a lot to your broker, I put agent.
Yeah.
I put, so 3, so broker, agent, and expenses. So I don't split it into 2, I split it into 3.
Yeah.
So that when we talk about agent and somebody says, I'm not gonna pay you 5%, well, you're not paying me 5%, you're paying me a third
Yeah.
approximately of 2.5%. So it looks even less.
Right.
Because you're still
That's a good
paying
one.
your company, so I'll put company or broker, usually I just put company, and then agent, and then expenses, and that's where I list a lot of the things. The expenses I list are things like staging, photography, internet marketing, for sales signs, those things, and then I put the other stuff under, like you have, like car and phone and under
Okay.
the agent, so they can see that it's transparency, right?
Yes. Well, what I did next then is this page. I don't know if I can make this bigger.
Yeah, the 3 dots.
Control
Zoom.
plus.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How come you don't double-sided print, Laura?
One more time.
Because of the way I do my presentation.
Oh.
Do one more time.
It's hard to call.
And then that happens. So this is kind of the page that we are getting to. So yeah, I started off with a little bit of the why Laura and a little bit about the listing process. But it's more, I was taking Jonathan's one pager and some other people's that I've looked at and thought, okay, how do I get it all into one? And it's about how are we showing them what we're going to do for our commission and whether or not we've got everything in here. And Lee suggested this morning to me too, if we pull this out in front of them, and I can send this to you too. So if we're highlighting some of the things, talking about that we're going to get into their customized strategy for marketing their property. And we want to be able to pick as many of these as possible for their property, and then going from there, and then coming up with the commission that you're gonna do. There's a few more little things in here like testimonials and stuff like that, but this is really the page that we were trying to come up with, a one-page thing of what you do or what are your tools to get their house sold. Has anybody else done it? Is anybody else doing anything like this? And services we
One
provide.
page.
And that is, so is that
That's one
that
page.
does it, that you're gonna get your
That's it.
5% or your
I think it's-
6%
yeah.
or your,
To me, from our perspective and what we do, it's too much paper. So we have it on one page, it's a market report, what makes your home sell, the services that we provide, and showings, and we talk about all those things you said in there, stagers. We still use the net sheet. That to me has been the most valuable piece of information I can give to a client, because everybody says we use a seller's net sheet, we go through everything. They said nobody else has ever done that with us.
yeah.
So that's, to me, that's been probably the main selling point, is
Is that on camera?
No.
Can you guys share that, the full page on that thing?
Yeah. And so we just do a seller's net sheet, and that's the thing that we found, because, and we found, we talk about a lot of stuff you just said there, but we just don't have papers, you know, we try and do it in some.
But seller net sheet doesn't have to do with your commission in terms of.
Sure it does. Does the
No,
commission-
in terms of the commission breakdown.
Oh, yeah, I do have another sheet for commission breakdown, but.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, so it's not a one-pager, you've got that, you've got your seller, you've got your commission.
We don't go into depth though, like on like our.
This is what it is.
How many people are you competing with on a listing?
Varies, could be 2 or it could be 10,
Yeah,
it varies.
and do you know your percentage rate of what you're getting too?
I mean, of our listings, yeah, I would say probably 90,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
But Laura, you're only using that commission breakdown sheet if there's a commission challenge, otherwise you'll never even talk about it.
Yeah.
No, every single person asks, what's your commission?
Yeah, then you say 5% and conversation's usually over.
Yeah,
But if it isn't, then you pull out that sheet, is that what you're saying?
it's in there, so we could, I don't necessarily go through every single one of those sheets in front of the
Okay.
people.
Okay. It's
It
just there
depends
for them.
on, you know, like I did right now, I might have skipped through 3
Yeah.
But you're
pages
gonna
saying,
leave,
yeah,
that could produce a problem.
And Laura, just another little point.
Just to say, right,
I'm sorry.
that could produce a problem.
okay,
We put our branding on our folder.
yeah,
We just ordered these ourselves, they're really cheap,
yeah.
but because I find just leaving like the branding on.
I have a
the folder,
different one with a branded one, I
Yeah.
do, yeah.
So we found that to be
If
helpful.
they become a client, they get a branded one, it's different, yeah. Just the ones that I do. Okay, let's go back to the topic.
I know, that's the topic.
Yeah, exactly. So what about us? Why are they using us? So tell me, go back to that page, Bonnie, because it's important. If that's the page that's making them pick you,
We have an easy exit.
what you're doing for them.
You want me to still lease listings? Okay, we have an easy exit guarantee. If you don't like us tomorrow, you can get out of your listing. We don't charge you. There's no fee. There's no anything.
Okay.
Okay? We have a professional photographer that comes in and does all of the pictures. We pay for that. That's something that we look after.
Yeah.
We have a professional stager that comes in to stage your property. So we look after all that. We pay
Right.
for that and we cover
You pay
that.
only for the consultation, you don't pay for the
We
stage.
pay for the stager. We pay,
We don't do any furniture staging.
we don't do furniture staging.
So
no.
it's
Accessories.
We have a great
Consultation.
stager. She charges us $100.
Oh, yeah.
That's
See, ours is
cheap.
$250.
Okay, that's fine. $100.
And she's bringing in accessories and
No,
art?
no, no, we
No,
don't,
no,
just
just the
the consultation.
consultation.
And stress that with the client too, that she's not gonna bring in furniture, because they're all panicky about, she's gonna use the stuff you have or remove some of the stuff you
Yeah.
have. And we
Same.
go with her,
Yeah.
and we help stage the house.
You physically move.
We physically move
What if
things.
it's vacant?
I've done that.
Then
That's
we
vacant.
have, it's vacant, then it's vacant, we don't, we don't have very
We
many
don't
of
have to do
that.
that in our marketplace.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
and maybe that's what it is too. So
It's a different market.
everything that you've just mentioned, every single agent in most of our other areas are doing that.
Sure they are.
So what are you doing that's different than the other
Well, I'm
agents
just
in
going
your
through-
area?
So we do an open house, we schedule an open house, we
Okay.
do a virtual tour, we do some target marketing
Yeah.
for their specific property. We talk about the internet and go on in detail about all the various places on the internet we go. We
Right?
talk about, see, our marketing department does all this for us for very little cost. So we have a full color brochure, we have about anywhere from 4 to 8 pages of a brochure on their property. We show them an example of the brochure that's done. We talk about the STAR group, that we are a member of the STAR group and where it is. So that little map that you have, that little thing would be a nice little
Yeah,
added
yeah.
feature to put in there. We talk about prospective buyers, where we get them from, and we talk about it going on the Barrie board as well as the Toronto board, because everything in our area goes on.
I think
The
we
Toronto
do,
board
I think
and the
you're
Barrie
doing
board.
a lot of what you're doing.
It's just different.
No,
Yeah.
but it's not, we're not gonna give them a document for everything that we're doing.
It's just
It's
one
like,
page.
you're here, like, they're trusting that our services, and we're not, because I don't wanna overload them with a stack of papers that they're really gonna read after you leave, in my opinion. For our marketplace, like, or like the clientele, like,
Unless
they
they're
want like a one thing, like what we're doing, here's a net sheet, and we chat about it and have those discussions, it's more in our sit-down, face-to-face conversation than, and our whole slogan is, your realtor for life, right? So we're talking about all those, like, if you guys need a cleaner, a landscaper, they know that they're calling us, we're not leaving.
Victoria.
Yeah,
That's
and
25 pages of stuff.
yeah, okay, so why though are they picking you? For instance, I know with mine, they've actually gotten back to me and said, you brought more information than anybody
Well,
else.
again, because
And we picked you because of that and because of your
I
knowledge.
guess because we're going based on referrals though, right?
So yours is your seller net sheet and yours is, right,
We
so
leave nothing,
you leave nothing for them
Nothing.
at all.
nothing.
Okay.
We do, but we do a full presentation.
So why
2
are they
steps.
picking you?
Probably because of the research. Most of them, when we've asked.
And you
or
don't
when they've
leave them the
told-
research either? So
No.
you come in and you show it to them and you take it away
It's
too?
all on,
Because we do
Oh,
it
on the
electronically.
iPad.
it's all, yeah.
So we do a
100%.
presentation, but this is our second meeting with them because we do a walkthrough and ask questions during that. And I think most of them say when we have asked or when they've given us feedback, when there has been more than just us in, it's because they said nobody did that. Like, nobody took the time to put it all together, because we have Geo, like, you guys all saw our presentation, so we show what they bought for their house, we show.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is in the other part that we get to eventually. So,
The comparables and all that kind of stuff.
right. That, the stuff that you're saying about you and why pick you, Nothing special over on top of everybody else?
Well, they've seen it throughout the
I think-
presentation, what we're presenting to them.
So
They
you're
don't
doing the
need,
same thing I'm doing, except it's on a presentation, you're just not leaving it there.
exactly.
Okay.
I just want to add a point since I actually went through their services. For me as a prospective buyer, I was going in with someone who has knowledge, but personality. Are they going to jive with me?
Yeah.
So once my wife and I.
Well, again, we've all got that personality, I think, in here.
Oh, I don't think so.
But so the
Thank you.
takeaway was just having, I'm just trying to input from
Yeah, yeah.
personal
Yeah.
experience was,
sure.
it was the fact that I didn't need something because I felt if there's more information I need to get, I'm gonna text them, I'm gonna call them.
Yeah.
I left
So
with
the
that,
personal.
I left with that impression
That's
of,
really good.
I would rather just text them and they're open to that
Yeah.
than giving me a stack of papers. That was.
So I was just gonna make the comment that I don't know what the stat is, maybe one of you know, why people use who they like. Right? I don't know what the percentage is, but by and large, that's who they're gonna go with, is who they feel a connection to. So if you're an analytical person, you're gonna want a ream of paper
Yeah.
and stats and
Yeah.
The
charts
teachers
and
make us
all
go
that
through
crap,
all
right?
this. Yeah.
So you have it with you.
Yes, yes.
And you size them up and you go through that crap if that's what they
Exactly.
want,
True,
right?
yeah.
If you're if you're the type of person that when you walk in the door, you give them a good handshake and you pat the dog,
Yeah,
Yeah.
then that's why they're gonna list with you.
yeah, yeah. I
You
get
know,
that
like,
too.
it's gonna be, every person is gonna be different, every agent's gonna be different, and either they resonate with you or they don't.
Yeah.
One of the things we do is do the safe arming technique with Floyd Wickman, whatever. You ask her all those 10 or 12 questions, you know, why are you moving, what do you want to move? But about 4 or 5 down, you start asking, what are you looking for in a real estate agent? What do you want? Exactly what you were saying before, Laura, is like, find out what do they need?
What's important to them?
What's important to them? And then you can customize your whole presentation around that.
Yeah.
Because that's all they really care about. We have like a 30-page seller guide, and that's what we give them, but we usually end up listing it, so it's not a big deal.
I was gonna say, but I'm with Laura on showing them those things, because I think for your commission, people are wanting to see what you're gonna do, and I think that's a huge thing, that's what we're working just on lately, to get our commission up to the next level, because we're so low
Yeah.
compared to Toronto even. But I think that would help, because they're actually seeing something and separating it out almost like you did too. But
Yeah.
it's maybe different for every area, because I think we're up against 2.75 all the time.
Well, and
it's
in
crazy.
ours,
Total?
it seems like a lot of
Yeah.
people were doing 4 total. So last year, I took this on like as a project, and I think I got 3% for me on 95% of
That's
it.
what we're trying to
Yeah.
work on.
So-
split it up.
They were paying either 5, 4.5, 5.5, whatever, but my end, once I explained it this way, I got 3. And then we chose what was going. If the entire market, so I work on them separately. I don't say, what do you want to pay total, 5%. I say, let's work on this side because you're going to be paying me and my brokerage, and these are all the things that I can pull from that. What do you want me to use? And most of them were like, yeah, okay, here's your 3. All right, now let's look at the other side and what we're going to pay them. So sometimes it was 2, sometimes it was 2.5, sometimes it was, so I kind of work it separately. But I want that 3.
Yeah.
I want that 3 as often as possible, and that's why I'm doing this. I don't want to anymore, ever again for that. I've given to a lot of clients of mine because they've been advocates and they've given me, I can't even count how much money, and actually I can count because I've got it in the back end of how many referrals I've gotten off them. So those people, yeah, they're getting it for 4 right away, but they're still getting all of this stuff that I do. And even those people, they need to know that this is, normally I charge 3 for this, but I'm giving it to you for 2 because look at, you've just been awesome with it.
And you haven't found in your area that agents won't come if you don't offer 2.5?
Ours are almost exclusively 2 now on the other side.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
also almost 2.5.
I get that in Toronto as well.
Yeah.
So that's why,
2.5,
Right, they don't-
they won't even come in.
so again, this is market dependent on your area.
That's all the
And you might
agents
not
fault.
be at this
Yeah.
spot
Yeah.
Well, and it's true, because I was probably one of the last give outs. I was always 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And then I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
You're the only one doing it.
Yeah, so I'm never getting it. I looked at all my buyers, and I got 2% 100% of the time last year.
Wow.
Right.
100% of the time.
Is it the same in Burlington?
So
Even
are you
Hamilton
kidding me?
Beacons are always
I am now
a little more
taking that
flexible.
0.5 and I'm putting it on mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that, I have to. It's costing me way more money, and I explain this to them.
Yeah.
That this is why I want you to
You
pay.
can't stay in business. without-
Yes,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
do it for you for
Yeah.
2, and we can pay 2 on the other side, but you can't. You can't get all this. I can't do all that. So that's what this whole topic was supposed to be about today.
What the biggest thing
Well, then
is,
you'll have to continue.
I agree.
the biggest thing what you need to tell people is I'm gonna net you more.
That's
I'm
the key.
I'm going to net you more.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key. My idea is to get you the most amount of money. How I get you the most amount of money is from this.
This one page.
There's one thing that you guys haven't talked about is the fact that, yeah, we do all that stuff and it all costs a lot of money, but what are they really paying for? They're paying for your experience to handle every situation, to know what to do, to deal with the fluctuations, to, like, you're getting paid what you're getting paid
Yeah,
because of
there's
your knowledge.
Is there
The
turbulence?
That's the
extensive full-time
biggest-
experience since 1990 and all
But
of
that's
the,
the biggest thing.
so that's the conversation, the line comes out with the conversation that
That's the
goes
biggest
with that.
thing, right?
Again,
It really
depending on the
is.
people is, that story behind that. Let me tell you what happened with an agent last week on a deal that we just did and how we handled it. So again, if you're pulling that out from the person, that's the stuff they need to know.
Turbulence
That's
fled
a
out,
big
right?
thing.
Yeah.
But they see value in that. They see
Absolutely.
sense value. And well, just see what I thank Peter. Most powerful sentence I've learned in about the last decade, I've used it 4 times since the Christmas party, was how honest do you want me to be? On a scale of 1 to 10, how honest do you want me to be with you?
Yeah, that's,
So say, people
Yeah.
the second appointment when they come into the office, before we start, I'll have it all on the table. On a scale of 1 to 10, how honest would you like me to be with you today? They all say, well, 10. So I just close everything, okay, let's have a conversation.
That's right.
Well, it's on for 10 or 15 minutes.
That's
About
my
the
whole
market,
point.
about all the rest of it, by
That's
then,
it.
it's done.
Okay, and I was
Yeah.
just gonna say to that, just to that point, I mean, I used to do what you did, okay, and eventually it drove me insane, right? So, because that's not my natural, even though people think I'm detail-oriented, I'm detail-oriented because I've learned how to be. But I'm not happy being in that place, okay? Okay, I need a straitjacket with that kind of stuff. So here's the thing, is what they want is the bottom line, okay? So,
some of them.
well, everybody wants the bottom line. They really do. Eventually, they want the bottom line. But here's the thing is, we've got down to 2 pages here, but what the bullet point is that we guarantee to get you 100% of market value, otherwise we'll cover the difference. All of a sudden, done, it's over. We guarantee it. And as for any concerns, we've got a communication weekly guarantee, no concerns. If you're buying something, no concerns, you've got easy exit listing guarantee. Oh, and we've also ramped that up now, that the love or leave guarantee, that if you're not happy, because we do our research up front, if you're not happy with the place that you bought, then we'll resell it for you for free, up to a year after you move in. Okay, so I mean, and then, by the way, you don't have to memorize this stuff, I say this, you don't have to memorize this stuff, it's all in writing, we put it in writing.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And here's the thing.
Again,
No,
Peter,
my
all the
point-
people in my place are doing the exact same thing.
But I'm just saying, no, are they? No, 100%
No.
of market value or cover the difference? I don't think so. I can tell you.
Okay, so what's market value?
I go through the comps.
There's 22 market values
I
with
go,
22 different
I go through the
agents.
comps with them, and I actually have it broken down by square footage. I put it on the matrix,
Yeah.
okay? I do not leave the matrix with them anymore,
No.
okay?
Never.
Because why? So they can show the next 15 agents going in after me? No.
It's on
They
your
want to hire us, by the way, they hire the team. And bottom line is, I'm just saying, Laurie,
Yep.
that, I told Gord about this because we were on Tuesday's do call. Remember,
Yep.
Gord? The
Yeah.
Tuesday do call that we had?
Yeah.
Okay, went into a listing appointment. There was somebody else, she went before me. 1% was what she was
Yeah.
charging. And she was also her friend from church.
Yes.
So I was, and I was cut off at the knees before I even walked in there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But, so then her son, who gave me the referral, he was there, and he hit me sideways by saying, well, what if you double end it, right?
Yeah.
And then, he said, what if you double end it, then what will your fee be then, right? And I'm thinking, he's not being an advocate here, like, he's setting me up here. And I said, here's the thing, I said, I said, you don't want me representing you, because you're, on buyer, you want me representing you as a seller. I said, and I had Amy there with me, my other realtor that I hired on the team.
Yep.
So I said, you know, we want to incent Amy, and like every other realtor, so it's not what you pay. I said, do you want, and I said this, I said, do you want to pay the least or do you want to net the most? I said, what's really most important
Yeah.
to you? And I looked right at the mom, right, because ultimately it's her house, right? And she says, I want to net the most. I said, good decision. And he says, and he asked me again. He asked me like 3 times. And I was like, okay, now you're starting.
What's the big deal though? Michelle and I bring in a collateral agreement at 4%, and they sign it up front.
Okay, but I don't do the collateral agreement because here's the thing. This is the big deal. When you get into multiple offers, now you get to disclose the collateral agreement.
No. It's.
Excluding.
It's
voids.
Once you're in multiple situations.
Okay,
the collateral agreement goes to
but
garbage.
here's my point. You're just giving away 1%. For what? Okay? I wouldn't do that. I used to do that. I was like, are you kidding me? For what we do? For the guarantees? No, it's not happening. So
It's
then,
okay to pay the other realtor, not.
so I said, bottom line is, I said, look, do you want to net the most or pay the least? And she said, you're right, I want to net the most. I said, good decision. And then the son came back at me again. Okay, same question. And then he smiled back and he goes, you see, Mom, remember the other agent? She gave away. She was just, I used this and she gave it away. He goes, that's why you want to hire him.
Okay.
And they did,
Not gonna do
5%.
Being tested.
That's my point. So, and he
Exactly.
said to me, right in front of her, he said, that was a test,
Yeah.
right? But I'm just like, I'm at the point, you know what? For 1%, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
No, but
Can any of us
When
do
I
it for
have-
1%? When we want to?
When you're dealing with a downtown client at 1.5 million list price, and you double in that, that's an absolute ridiculous amount of money at 5%.
Yeah.
So that's why we say 4, because we don't want to get, we want.
And again, different markets,
Different market
Sure.
dependent.
different market, different
Go up
price
to
range.
Sarnia.
We're dealing with an average price
Yeah.
of $500,000, so, and the likelihood of double ending is not that big, so it's not. And going back to Bonnie, just before we finish up here, because we're after 1 o'clock.
75K, right?
Just a sec, guys, just going back to Bonnie for one thing and then you to finish. I don't give the personalized folder because they do get one of my magazines, every single seller and buyer. And so I go in and I talk to them about, again, because I always customize the back pages. Who was it that was using these? I'm not sure if you're doing that. So yeah, I customize the front and I customize the back. We're allowed to put anything we want in there. So I do a little bit extra and always do the City of Waterfalls. So I always end with this as a gift to them about this magazine as well. So they're still getting the customized stuff.
I'm just
And they're
passing
getting-
around a TIM card.
It's
So I'm
because
not sure
he
if
wants it
everybody
back.
has done this before, but you can customize the gift cards to your client. So we give a $20 gift TIM card to our sellers when you list with us, with the thank you letter for listing with us,
Yeah.
Nice.
and
This
say.
is from my mortgage broker.
Yeah, so when we kick you out to show the,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's it cost
So when we show your house,
And it's
we
the
kick
same
you out,
mortgage broker that
go
they
hang
got
out
it
to
from.
mortgage.
What's the same cost?
Same cost.
What do
And
you
the other
get?
thing is
No,
you can.
there's a fee to do it. There's a fee to customize it and put it on there. It's a small fee, I believe.
Yeah, it's pricey.
And then you order so many, and it's so worth it. Like,
That's
I invited Gail to, she's a really good friend of mine, and I invited her to talk at one of our
That's perfect.
board meetings. And there was like 250 people there. She brought every single person a package and one of these. Yeah, it cost her a lot of money. I can't even tell you how much business she's done.
So you just do it TimHortons.com and you can fill it out.
She was good.
But
Yeah, that's perfect for referral gift.
But you have 2 options, just so you know. So one, you can send the TIM card, right, and give it to them, because people like touchy-feely. But if you really want to do it, you can actually send it to they can get it to their cell phone.
Yeah.
So, on an app. So now they can just keep reloading it, and every time they got buy something Tim Hortons, your face
Okay,
comes up.
that I didn't know. That is awesome.
So that's even a better
That's
option,
even better.
right? So I think we're gonna start off with this one for like the sellers,
Just to
right at the
start
beginning
off.
to start off, and then later on, at the end of closing, we'll give them another one to get to the cell phone.
So,
No,
okay, so
Peter.
Thomas just made a point. You can't claim, well, you can only claim 50% of food gift cards. We've had this
Yeah,
tax
and
issue.
I've done it for many, many years, and when you do get caught, then you're gonna have to pay the taxes on that year that you got caught. But then you made it up on all those other
So you
things.
just claim
For
the whole
20
thing.
bucks, I don't
It's
care.
worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Depends how many you're doing.
And then you can customize the
When
letter
they're branded, I
that
think
comes
you
with the
could
two, and
claim
send
all
them a
of them.
message.
Sorry, I forgot to say, when we give the referral gift, we make a note of the date, who they referred, and what we gave as the referral gift, so that we're not giving the same diffuser to the same person
That's
twice
cool.
and so on.
That's cool.
That's a fourth possible thing.
The last page that I wanted to talk to you about in that listing presentation, and if you're just doing one page, then make sure you've got this on it. Make sure they know where you are on social media. Make sure they know about your websites and stuff like that. Just give them something that they can reach out to you with, and always end with that and put it up on top so they know how to reach you.
I got one more quick one. If you have an iPhone, and you can go to your space bar at the bottom, hold it,
Yes.
and you move your cursor wherever you want to start deleting or editing. I'm not sure if anybody knew that with their iPhone, but it's really cool.
Oh, I don't have it. Cool.
Thank you, Laura.
I never will. Okay, so we still need to finish that. Send more information.
Sorry,
Before
the
you go,
magazine?
there's a couple of important announcements. Number one is, we need a best practices for every meeting.
Yes.
So we need somebody who wants to volunteer to do a best practice for next month. Any volunteers, if you've got something that you'd like to share with everyone? Because we need to make a schedule. We started with ABCs, and I think we went through the list.
Well, I'm back at A now, technically.
Well, you did the first one, so it's,
Yeah, you
who's next?
started us off today.
Yeah,
On the B's, C's.
Charlotte?
Let's go.